Weekly. My name is Chad Moores. This is Jeremy Mullet, and this is Joey Mullet. Welcome.
Welcome to another episode.
Yes. What episode are we on right now? Are we on 12?
We're on 12.
12.
Yeah.
That is crazy. We're on 12. We're getting...
It would be a cause for celebration, but today is not a cause for celebration.
No. We have a very sad day today, but we'll get on to that.
It is
we'll
not
get there.
Vlad Approved.
Yeah, not Vlad Approved. No. And welcome back to Vlad, our special mascot. Yes. Yeah. And just to let you know, today we're going to be talking about... Who are we going to talk about today, Jeremy?
Well, Egon died on Monday. And,
Egon, but not forgotten.
Yep.
We're going to talk about him a little bit.
Yeah, most of the show is going to be dedicated to him, but we do have a couple of things that we're going to kind of go through a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
A couple of things that I want to talk about. There was a lot of just jumping right into it because I just like we're not going to go into let's go right into it today.
Ready.
So what did you think about the Heroes Reborn miniseries? Heroes coming back from NBC.
You know, I think that it's a cop out. To be honest with you, because
really?
If you saw it, you know when they announced it about 2 weeks after the 24 mini episode was announced.
Yes.
Yeah, and Fox is doing fantastic with that series, right? So
yeah.
they think, and because 24 is a fantastic series and it still has a strong fan base,
right?
And then it's a couple weeks after that, and NBC suddenly goes, "We're gonna do Heroes Reborn as a mini series," and it seems like. I think they're putting a little bit too much power in that franchise. I really don't think there's a lot of people that care about that franchise anymore.
Well, you know what?
I'll be honest with you. I really, really, really like that franchise. Like, I loved the whole concept.
The last couple of years.
Did you watch every episode? Have you seen the last two seasons?
Yes, I watched every episode of Heroes.
Right. Now, I loved the first season. Absolutely amazing. I mean,
incredible.
It's just up there to one of the best TV shows of all time. For me.
Yep.
And then second season came along, and I was like, all right, I like where they're going with it. And then halfway through season 2, I was like, you lost me. And then right from there, I watched every single episode from season 2, 3, and 4, 1 to 4. I watched all of them. And the only thing that I really liked was the cliffhanger for season 4 when Claire jumps off kills herself, and then says, like, this is attempt, I don't know how many, and she announces to the world that she is...
Well, the other thing you got to see about this specific series is, take 24, for example. They're bringing back two main characters. They're bringing back Jack Bauer and Chloe. Those people have been there since season 1. Now, we've got... Chloe, I think, came in season 2. Heroes Reborn, the only thing we know about this is it's called Heroes Reborn, and Tim Krieg is involved. There's no one else involved in the project.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that it's going to go either two ways. Yeah. Either it's going to be completely new people, or it's going to be a mix. And I think that now I could be wrong, but I think that our favorite hero will at least come back for at least a cameo. At least.
Yeah.
Hero has to come back.
Hero will be back. Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see where maybe it's going to be a whole new cast with a couple of cameo appearances.
And I feel like it's going to take place after the whole thing that happened with Claire.
That would
Once
make
everyone
sense too.
knows,
And you could even do it like a couple of
big
years later.
war
like
happening,
a whole world
and
kind of mixed together between people with powers and then people that don't have powers.
As like a reoccurring character, being like this person that kind of like, as you could say, the leader of S.H.I.E.L.D. Nick Fury, thank you. Being kind of like that kind of character where he just like kind of pops in every once in a while, says like, this is what's going on, we need you, and then just is off. You know what I mean? And that would be kind of cool, especially to see him kind of like, I would love to see his character completely redeveloped to a certain extent, like very much like from Willow from the first season to like the last. You know what I mean? Like.
You almost got a prequel of who he could become in that first season, like when they went into the future.
Yeah,
and you saw Hero with like the blade.
Yeah, and he's got the big scar, and
you got a prequel at that point. That was kind of nice to see.
Wait, which prequel are we talking about?
Okay, so it wasn't a prequel, but in the first season, Hero goes into the future.
Yeah,
and he meets
himself, but himself is like this badass, like the coat. He's got the knife.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that
cool to see
they really need to. Yeah, exactly.
I would definitely say that would be nice.
Yeah, so I really think that Heroes is going to be... I think it's... I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
I will tell you I'm a lot more excited about the Jack Bauer 24 reboot than I am Heroes.
Now, I haven't watched 24 yet because I want to.
Why?
Well, I cannot...
I'm much more excited for Heroes, but then again, I'm like with you. I don't watch 24.
Yeah, but I want to. I just haven't done it yet, and I will.
You're missing out.
I know.
Oh, man.
And trust me. But you know what? It's so funny. A lot of TV shows are coming back and being rebooted. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, they even have like Girl Meets World, which is spin off of Boy Meets World,
right.
and I even heard that there. What?
Have you seen any of that?
It hasn't come out yet.
I thought it was in December.
No, I don't think it's come out yet.
It's a future
Is it still a future project?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, they're basically done.
They've like filmed it and everything, but
they've made episodes and stuff like that. It just hasn't come out. I think it's coming out in the next few months. I think.
Okay.
They even said I thought the last time I checked it said February, but they must have changed their minds.
All right.
But I can't wait for that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really hoping it's just as good. I mean, it's a hard show to live up to.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the first couple of years, anyways. I mean, in my opinion, the best part of Boy Meets World is when they get a little bit older. But it's probably because I was a little bit older when I really started getting into it. So those first couple of years when he's like a little kid, you still learn valuable lessons and yada yada.
Yeah.
But they really start getting into some deeper stuff in the later seasons.
I was actually talking to. I was in school because I went back to school, as you know. Back to college, and I was sitting in one of my classes, and we were talking about like how TV influences people, and I said, that's so funny because like when I'm in a really hard part in my life, I go, what would Corey Matthews do? I mean, like, I'm not even joking. I think of like Boy Meets World. I'm like, what would Corey Matthews do? And I'm like, that's what I'll do.
Nice.
And I think because like TV
that series
it really was like a quintessential series for a lot of people, because a lot of people have the same theories that you do on what would this person do or what would this person do. Like, it really is the series in that time frame that every other sitcom or so tries, that everybody else compares it to.
Right, exactly. And I'm super excited for a lot of these TV shows to come. I am excited for Heroes because I think that they're trying to redeem themselves from what happened.
Yeah.
And I think that they can redeem themselves because, I mean, we've given chances to a lot of other things, and sometimes they disappoint us, and very few times they don't disappoint us. But I have a really strong feeling.
The other thing about that is they're coming out with it next year, right? 2015 was the launch date on that.
Yeah.
That's the exact same time that Marvel is going to be launching all their TV shows.
And I'm telling you right now, there is so
hitters.
many action-packed, like, action hero things that are coming out in 2015. I mean, think of like the summer of 2015. Yeah. All of those like crazy blockbuster movies are coming. Yeah. 2015 is going to be the biggest blockbuster summer in year that I can even think of. It's going to be
a big one.
It's going to be like Banana Sandwich crazy.
Yeah.
Banana Sandwich crazy. I'm telling you.
Now, did Avengers last year when they did Avengers, or the last big one was the Avengers year, because they did Avengers and they also did Spider-Man and then they also did The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Dark Knight Rises, which was a freaking phenomenal
Captain America was the same year as Avengers, wasn't it?
No.
Didn't it go Captain America and then Avengers, or was it?
No. I mean, it was definitely the last
one.
one.
It was Thor and Captain America, that's right.
Yeah.
And then it was the next year that was Avengers, that's right.
Yeah.
And then it was Avengers was a big one. But then they did Avengers and Spider-Man, which relaunched the Spider-Man series. So we've had a couple of big years, but next year is going to be a big, big year, because you've got the Superman Batman. Yeah. Which is going to be pretty big in and of itself, right?
Yeah. Right. That's like the biggest, like, that's just as big as like seeing the first Avengers movie. Like, it's super big.
People are going to go crazy about it. At that point, it'll be the end of the Hunger Games, because they're doing the Mockingjay 1 and 2. So the second one will be out in 2015. You have the second Avengers. So I don't know what else. What else is coming out that year? Does anybody else know any other big ones?
Guardians of the Galaxy and all that stuff. That's all this year, right?
That's this year, yeah.
I have a question about Guardians of the Galaxy. Is it going to be now? And I asked somebody, and they said that it's a yes, but I want to hear it from you on what you think. Is it going to be part of the same Avengers universe?
It's the same canon, yeah.
I thought it was. I thought it was. Like, and I feel like they'll do like some sort of candid thing.
It's an offshoot, but it's going to be part of the same universe. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought it would be. I mean, they'll just have like a couple of like just like little Easter eggs saying like, we're definitely part of that universe. Like, they'll just mention something small, just like the incident in New York, like, which they do a lot.
Yeah. They may not even mention the incident in New York, because Guardians of the Galaxy do not deal with Earth.
There's
no.
They're everywhere else.
Yeah. You might see like the Chitauri or whatever. Chitauri were the people that were like invading Earth. You might see little examples of them. You'll get a little hint towards Thanos. You'll see a little bit of the Collector. Yeah. It'll be an interesting series, definitely.
Yeah, I'm excited, but it's definitely a different tone from any of the other Avenger movies.
From any of the Marvel movies. It really is their fun project. I mean, you put Chris Pratt in as the main character, and you're going to get a comedy out of it no matter what you do.
Yeah. Yeah, but it looks good though. It looks really good. And we'll talk about that like if on our future trailer episode that we're doing. So.
We'll talk a little bit more about that there.
I think that... Oh, I wanted to talk about one other thing before we move on. And this is Zombeaver.
What the hell is
That
Zombeaver?
is the name of this movie. It's called Zombeaver.
That's a real movie?
It's called like Zombeaver.
I saw a poster for that, and I thought it was a joke.
It's not a joke. We're going to watch the trailer.
God.
Right meow.
No.
Never seen a real beaver before.
Maybe you should try going down me once in a while,
Oh.
What?
Really?
So...
Interesting.
So...
Fucking retarded.
Yeah. Yeah. It... I'm not interested in seeing it. I was just
At all.
When
Like,
I
not
saw it
even a
on...
little
I
bit.
saw it like an advertisement for it, and I went, like... What? Like, why? And then they turn into... They if you get bit, you get turned into a zombie beaver.
Yeah? Is that
That's
how that
crazy.
works?
Yeah, well,
Well, I
you
mean,
saw,
the
like, the...
Jaws
the-
Yeah,
around,
that could have
she
been a
got,
dream,
like, a
though.
bug.
That could have been a dream sequence. Usually when you see stuff like that, it's a dream sequence. It's in the bed. Believe me, I've seen enough horror movies to know. Yeah.
God knows you
Alright.
in horror movies.
But yeah, those are... That looks awful.
It looks like a waste of an
It looks
hour
like a
and
low
however
budget.
long.
I mean, actually, you know what? If it's a low budget film, I'd actually probably go see it.
Well, you could tell that the beavers looked really fake.
Yeah,
looked
they were
like
definitely
just, like,
puppets.
yeah.
Low budget films I always enjoy over like heavy.
Well, it's supposed to be a joke.
yeah. Well, it better be a joke.
Well, that's what that said on the article that I was reading. So
Wait a minute, is the trailer a joke or is the whole movie?
the movie, it's
Okay,
a
it
whole
is gonna
movie,
be a
and it's
whole
supposed
movie.
to be a joke. Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you.
All right, so
Not
I had
approved.
not approved. This is the second not approved thing from Vlad today.
Yeah, I started playing a new game. I know it's a little bit old at this point, but I finally started Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah, I don't need to know like the story and stuff like that, but like what?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm loving this game. And let me just tell you, I hate RPGs. I've never been an RPG guy. I keep trying. A lot of it is because of all the grinding that you have to do. You constantly,
Yeah. There's a little
hours
too much.
and hours
Yeah.
and hours of doing the same thing in the same valley over and over and over again. It just gets boring for me. Now, the stories are always epic, no matter what you do in an RPG. But
Yeah.
the grinding I just could never handle. This one seems to be more linear. So you don't really explore a whole world, which was a big gripe for a lot of people with this game, but that was why I enjoyed it so much, why I am enjoying it so much. And then the other thing about it is like the whole combat system has been redone so that it's not like turn-based anymore.
Yeah.
It's very fluid. You know, in the middle of battle, you only control one person. You've got a party of 3, but you can only control your main character.
Yeah.
And you can switch like their roles in the battle, but you can't choose what kind of moves they do.
Yeah.
So, for example, if I'm like dying, I can switch over one of my characters to be a medic, and they'll heal us, and then we'll go back in to do. There's like so far I've got 3 or 4 different roles. There's a support role, which will that will boost my character's defenses.
Yeah.
There's a support role similar to that, which will boost. All they'll do is keep casting spells on enemies.
Yeah.
That'll lower their defenses. And then there's 2 different kinds of attacks. There's one that's more based on combat, and then there's another one that's based on magic powers. And then there is a medic, which the medic just heals. And I've been really enjoying this game. The storyline's really well done. A little melodramatic, as you usually get with a JRPG.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this one here, she's the main character, Lightning. I do think I'm going to enjoy this game going all the way through. I'm about, I don't know, 8 hours in at this point probably.
Okay,
and
but
I've
it's
really been
really
enjoying it.
good.
Yeah, really been enjoying it. So yeah, overall, I definitely recommend picking up this game, especially if you're not a JRPG fan.
And
really
you know what's funny is that I'm not into like Final Fantasy games.
Yeah.
I've tried a couple of them. You know, I tried some of the old, like, 8-bit ones.
Yeah, I'm in the
and
same
I've
boat.
tried,
It's just like,
and I'm like, doesn't work. And I've tried some of the, like, PlayStation 2 versions.
Yeah.
And then I think I tried one for another system. I'm not sure exactly which one it was. But, yeah, I just haven't really, it hasn't hit me yet. But maybe someday, maybe I'll enjoy one of them.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll even enjoy that one. Maybe I'll,
Yeah, that one's it's a good jump on because you really don't have to deal with all the extra abilities and stuff. I mean, you do, but it's not
It's not overwhelming.
People. Yeah, it's not overwhelming, and the battle system comes to you sort of slowly over the course of time.
Yeah.
Like I'm technically still in the tutorials. I'm 8 or 9 hours in, and I'm still doing tutorials. So they'll introduce the battle system to you slowly over time, give you a new component, give you enough time to understand what that is, and then they'll introduce another one like 2 hours later. The graphics, bar none. I've never seen anything as good as that, as what I've seen in this game. Just unfucking believable. Actually, Last of Us is becoming pretty close.
Have you started playing it yet?
Yeah, I'm about 4 hours into that, and oh my god, that one is also fantastic.
Yeah, it's hard to choose, I'm sure, between the two right now.
Yeah, right now, like going, and then I'm limited on time too, so I'm like, which one?
I know, I'm sure. Yeah. All right, so I think we'll
definitely recommend it.
Yeah,
without a doubt. Oh yeah.
Vlad approved.
Approved.
Finally, Vlad approved. That's a good thing. Do you want to explain what's happening in this picture, my friend?
Yeah, Igor died on Monday. He's been
Igor?
suffering from a disease. Egon, sorry.
Egon, but
Egon
not
died
forgotten.
On Monday. He's been some kind of blood disease he's been dealing with for the last 4 years. And finally got him on Monday. I think it was the beginning of Monday.
Yeah.
Took him out. And, so these images just started popping up. Very, very sad. This guy was iconic, and just based on like how it affects the future, he was set for Ghostbusters 3. His character was supposed to do a cameo, and it was supposed to be a turning point in the film. He wasn't supposed to be in it for very long, but the way that he had talked to the Ghostbusters, the new generation of Ghostbusters, he was supposed to inspire them and keep them moving. So now they have to rewrite the whole script, which is very sad.
But I'm glad that they're still going ahead and going to do it.
They are going to still do it. Hopefully they can say, some kind of respect to his character. I mean, outside of that, though, this guy was a freaking legend.
Well, I mean, he was supposed to direct it because they wanted to apparently, like, what was it? Sony wanted to have a different director, a newer director to do this new generation of Ghostbusters. Yeah. But he was already under contract to do a third movie.
Yeah, they had been planning third movies for, like, the early 90s. They were originally planning it. Just fell through, and then it's always fell through for 20 years. But... Yeah,
and then so he was supposed to... And that's so sad that, like, literally they were like, okay, we're finally going to do it, and then he dies. Yeah, which I just think is horrible timing. And I'm sure that the movie will be dedicated to him at the end. Like, I'm sure it will be in loving memory.
The problem with that, though, is now the only Ghostbusters who are on board are Ernie, who's the black guy, and
Dan Aykroyd.
Those are the only two on board because Bill Murray won't touch the project. He won't do it. Rick Moranis won't touch the project.
And why won't Bill Murray do it again?
Bill Murray said that he wants to read the script first before he signs on.
He's been against it for a long time.
But why is that?
He doesn't want to touch it.
It's one of his most famous roles. It probably is his most famous role. I mean, and everybody knows him for it. And I think he just got tired of being called, Minkman. So
yeah. Then we have. I just thought I'd bring up some other.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
Man, he got big though.
I know. Yeah, it's crazy how different he looked.
Exploded. Yeah, he exploded.
Yeah. And
he really did. To be honest with you, he was a director. He wasn't really an actor. He's famous for his role as Egon, but he was a director. I mean, he did the Caddyshack. He was part of Stripes. He, through the 80s, he was just
Caddyshack. I think I have. Hold on, where is it? Right there. That's Caddyshack. Right there.
No, that's Stripes.
That's Stripes. Oh,
yeah, that's Stripes.
That's Stripes.
I knew that.
That was such a good movie.
I don't think I haven't seen.
You put John Candy. It's them two and then John Candy.
Oh, okay.
And it's fantastic. It really is. They go into they enlist in the army. Bill Murray's the main character, and he enlists in the army for one reason or another. I think he was trying to avoid taxes or something like that. So he's just got a stupid reason to do it. And he goes in. He's just like this sort of Bill Murray-esque character, and just their troop they're sort of like the rejects.
Yeah.
And they end up getting this van. It's like a camper, but it's a militarized camper that they take into this foreign land. I forget exactly. It's been a long time to see this film, but they take that in and they end up going in and they destroy this foreign leader's camp and just the whole thing. It's a really, really funny movie.
Yeah. It sounds really good. I'll have to. I mean, anything with Bill Murray, I've always.
Animal House.
He was part of Animal House.
Yeah. I really liked Groundhog Day.
Did miss out on people.
Groundhog Day.
Actually,
that's right. He did.
Yeah, and apparently, when I was reading it, that's one of the other biggest ones that he's known for is Groundhog Day because that's a great movie.
Yeah.
I actually watched it. On Groundhog Day, I watched it because I usually watch it once a year, and I usually watch it on Groundhog Day. I mean, it's just like, you know,
that movie is fantastic.
It's a great movie.
It really is. That's like the love story for men.
Yeah,
it really is what it is. It's
yeah. So it's great. It's watching him and just, you know, seeing his development through the movie, and it's really slow. Yeah. Super slow. It is slow. Which I find is usually just happens like that. You know what I mean? Like usually, especially in a movie. Like in TV shows, they always have enough time to kind of give a character development because they know they're going to be on for a long time. But you only have like an hour and a half to 2 hours usually. Usually just an hour and a half to just get somebody to be like, you know, be like this jackass to being like this wonderful person. You know what I mean? And it's just like, you know, it just out of nowhere, it just like happens. You know.
Yeah, that was a really, really well done movie. And then in the last like 5 years, he really hasn't shown up much in the last, let's say, decade.
Yeah.
He's still done a little bit of behind the scenes work, but he's never really been on camera. He did like a couple of small.
Well, he wrote 1 year.
Yeah. What did he write?
He wrote the movie
Year One. Sorry, Year One. And, with
Michael Cera and Jack Black.
Let's not put that on his list of accomplishments.
No, he wrote that movie. It's just a
I wasn't crazy about it either, but
I mean,
it's all right.
Good guy,
it's
but
watchable.
Yeah, we've all made mistakes.
I didn't tell you. In his newer stuff, I was talking to you earlier about it when we were driving over here. Is one of the funniest things is the movie Orange County. He's the dean of admissions at, I think it's Stanford.
Yeah.
And he accidentally takes 3 hits of ecstasy and he's just tripping. He's like, "Ooh, guys, what's going on? Oh, I love you so much." And he's just tripping balls on E. And then the other cameo that's wicked funny that he's in, that was more recent, is he's Seth Rogen's dad in Knocked Up, and Seth Rogen is talking to him about how terrible how his life is over because he just got this girl pregnant. He's like, this is a disaster. No, this is awesome. This is great. My life friggin' terrible, but this is great news.
Yeah, I always liked his cameos and a lot of the stuff that he. All of a sudden, I'm just like, hey.
I mean, we owe a lot of what we get nowadays in comedies to him, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, we even owe him, to be honest with you, for Ghostbusters, because when Dan Aykroyd got the original script, it was a intergalactic kind of film. It was not Ghostbusters in New York. It was like Dan Aykroyd wanted it to be like this group of like ghost hunters that traveled planet to planet to go and take down ghosts. Yeah,
that sounds horrible.
Yeah, and it was the reason why they denied it was because the budget was going to be $200,000 on it. Oh no, wait. $200 million.
Oh.
And they were like, that's way too over budget. So like, we can give you about $25 million. And then he was talking to him, and he was like, why don't we just put them in New York? Why don't we just make them like plumbers? So like calling a Ghostbusters is like calling you a plumber when your sink goes down.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's who are
you gonna call?
Yep. Yeah. It's fantastic. You know, it really is sad to see him go. You know what the thing is too? Out of the 4 of them, you would not see him going first. If anybody, even if you're thinking Ghostbusters, I would think Bill Murray would be the first to die. Yeah. Even his character, I think, would be the first, because he's so like brash and irrational. He would just do something stupid. I can take care of this. You know, Egon feels he'd be the person that like prevents death.
Yeah,
studies the ghost for like 30 years.
I don't know. I would have thought the black guy would go first.
You think so?
It is a horror comedy.
Yeah, that's true. It is horror movie guidelines.
Yeah, I mean the black guy always has to go first. That's what I'm saying.
Watch, and out of all 4 of them, the black guy's gonna live the longest, and only because
he still
the 3 of us don't even know what his name is.
He still does, like when you go to Comic Cons and stuff, conventions. Yeah. He still shows up with like the Ecto-1. You can go get pictures with him all the time. That's what he does nowadays. So.
Well, I mean, he doesn't.
He's on board. There's no question about that.
I know. He doesn't do anything else. Has he done anything other than this movie?
That's what he's famous for. That's it.
I mean, and he's not even really that big about it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, he's not the person that you would think. Like, he's like the last Ghostbuster.
Yeah, it's really the core 3, and then he's got hired on. And then the second one, he's in the whole thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. So at that point, he's really part of the group. But in the first one, he's part of the group, but it's like halfway through the movie they finally pick up a new guy because they're getting overwhelmed with
hold
ghosts.
this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I thought that was kind of. I don't know. I mean, I didn't hate that they added him in, but to a certain extent, they didn't really need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the movie would have just. I think the movies, and I hate saying this because I don't want to be mean, but I feel like the movies would have been just as good, not better, not worse, but just as good if they didn't even add him in.
Well, there are a couple of scenes that it's pretty important because what he does, his role is really, if you notice, whenever he's with them, he's really next to Aykroyd. And Aykroyd's the heart of the group. So you've got Egon, who's the brains. You've got Murray, who's the mouth. And then you've got Aykroyd, who is the heart of the group.
Yeah.
And you don't really learn, like, his heart until he's speaking with that guy. Because, like, he just, you know... Otherwise, he's always with Egon, and Egon kind of steals the show when he's in the picture, and then... Murray's always stealing the show when he's in the picture, so it's really those like few times when those two are together. And even in the beginning of the second film, you see him and Aykroyd are both together, and they're doing the Ghostbusters like
at a birthday party.
Yeah, the birthday party.
Yeah,
you know, and it takes that guy to bring his character out, and that's the role he really plays.
The hell, I thought you were gonna get He-Man. Yeah. Well, we got the Ghostbusters. So. I feel like the black guy is more like
Ernie Hudson is very important, I think.
Yeah, I feel like he's more the everyman of the group, whereas like Egon was the brains, and like you said, the heart. Whereas he was just the guy looking for a job, and that happened to be like, all right, this is a job. He even says it. I don't care what you want me to do. If there's a steady paycheck, I'll do it. Yeah. So he's just the guy that just kind of got lumped in.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Our world lost a great writer, you know, and it's too bad that Ghostbusters was pushed back for so long that it took somebody dying to even get it moving, which is.
I mean, now it's definitely going to be pushed forward just because of this.
Irony, if you really think about it.
Yeah, and I think he was pretty excited to see it happen too. Yeah. You know, I actually saw this movie for the first time when I was 5 years old. The first Ghostbusters movie. Mm. And I was petrified. Because, I mean, there were ghosts, and I was 5 years old.
Yeah, there were some scary ghosts in that movie.
Yeah, and I was like, it was in the 90s, so, like, even around that time, still, like, was pretty convincing graphics. Yeah. So I was pretty freaking scared, and then, so I stopped watching it, and then, I think it was, like, 2 years later, someone said, like, well, we should watch Ghostbusters! I think it was a sleepover party. At a sleepover, and I was like, I'll go home. Like, if you guys want to watch it, that's more than fine, but I'm going home. And they were like, oh, come on, it'll be fun. And I was like, okay. And so I watched it, and then I got obsessed. Yeah. Then I found out they had a cartoon. I was like, oh. Yeah. Oh, the cartoon.
I really enjoyed the Ghostbusters cartoon. Like,
yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I liked it. It was, like, up to par with, like, you know, I used to watch, you remember the Jackie Chan Adventures cartoons?
Yes.
Those were so good. I mean, the first season was great. First season's great. And then, yeah, exactly. But then every season was the same. It was them having to find 8 objects.
Right.
And they all had the same powers, basically. And then they would collect them all. And then right before they collected the last one, whoever was the villain collected them all and did it anyways. Yeah. So really, the whole season is completely pointless until the very end when he just ends up defeating him. Because, like, it's literally like they spent all this time collecting them, and then right before they get the last one, the enemy gets them all, becomes like this big unstoppable thing, and then Jackie Chan and then his his uncle puts like some sort of
fight Zhao, and then everything would be fixed.
That's what it was. Fight Zhao. Oh my god, one more thing.
Yeah, see, I remember.
I love that we were talking about that when we were talking about the Ghostbusters cartoon. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like up to par with that kind. I used to love that. Do you ever watch the Mighty Ducks cartoon too?
Yeah, I remember the
Mighty Ducks, stuff like that. You know, those were the good days. Those were some good cartoons. We even have, I don't know if anybody can see this on the video, but we have two things here. We have the Ghostbusters 1 and 2 double feature gift set, which is awesome. Because this actually, I love this this art right here. I just love...
Fresh out of a burning house.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I had to clean it up a lot. Like, when I searched through all of his stuff for it, and he's like, go find this! And I found it. I was like, ugh. I was coughing. I gotta find Ghostbusters!
Yeah, and then we have our little green friend over here. What's his name again?
Slimer,
thank you. Yeah, there's Slimer up there. These are just guest appearances right now. I mean,
it feels so funky.
You know, I was thinking about. I almost went to the mall to get something just to have up here, just to remember him and just to always have him with us at our podcasts. You know, and I'm thinking about still doing that, but like I just didn't have time today because I really wanted to make sure we got some stuff done. But maybe when I'm like out and I'll say something, and I'll just put it up there, and then I'll let you guys know when it's up there.
So you dropped the ball, I picked it up. We're all set.
Yeah, I did kind of drop the ball, didn't I? Yeah, well, you know what? We also didn't know. We never know what we're talking about, not normally, until like the day of. Maybe the day before. Sometimes, at the maximum amount of time that we know is usually about a week, but except for the Angel and Buffy, we knew during our podcast right before that, we were like, we'll do Buffy and Angel, and then but most of the time we have no idea what we're doing. I usually Facebook you the morning.
By the way, tonight we're doing this.
Yeah, well, no, usually I go, what do you have? And he goes, I don't know, what do you have? And then we finally just kind of collaborate on things, unless I get really excited about something, and this I thought was a great idea because I wanted to talk about it, but I didn't really know that we should dedicate it, but I'm glad that we did
really
that because I think
he's a legend, so he deserves it.
Yeah. All right, so I don't have anything else to say. Do you have anything that you want to add on today?
I'm good, man. Just tough week losing somebody like that. Otherwise, I think we're good though.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Geek Weekly. My name is Chad Morris. This is Jeremy Mullet. This is Joey Mullet. Thanks again.
It's Vlad Approved.
And it's Vlad Approved. This is Vlad right there for you. And don't forget to email us at chadamfilms@gmail.com. That is chadamfilms@gmail.com. Don't forget to like us on our Facebook page. Like, subscribe, love, share, laugh, everything.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Did you like that? I thought it was good. All right. See you again next.
See you next time.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.